Hello again, a very warm welcome to you all. My name is Deni Kay. Welcome to my Springbank month. Yes, I have declared this month for me the month of Springbank only because I have a big bunch of Springbank whiskey that I'd like to work through. If I stuck to my usual format of a review a week, it wouldn't be enough because I have too many bottles I need to work through. So it is going to be action-packed. I did the Springbank Local Barley 10 onto the 15-year-old Longrow Red. I have all the Longrow, all the Springbank, in fact, is still in 1965 with age on it that I'm going to work through this month. So if you love Springbank and you like the sound of that, now is the time to hit the subscribe button, the like button, leave me a comment, question, any of those things, because we're going to keep on going with this. Now, today I have the Longrow Red 15-year-old Pinot Noir. So, Longrow Red as a series, big bunch of them. I've had the privilege, I guess you could say, of trying every single one. Some are fantastic, some are great, some not perhaps to my liking, but they all take you on a little bit of a ride, a little bit of experience. Now, Pinot Noir cask. So, to start with, as I said, all in a red wine cask, also port wine included in that. It is a wine, but red wine casks. Now, Pinot Noir, so it is a very dark grape, but grown and I guess you could say produced all over the world. Yes, from France through to the States, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, South Africa, and the list keeps on going, right? So you'll find the wine all over the world. No matter where you are, you'll be able to pick up a bottle of Pinot Noir. Now, this here, and I know this information because without even looking on the internet, it tells me on the rear label that this particular whiskey spent 11 years in bourbon casks before then being transferred into fresh red wine Pinot Noir barriques for 4 years. And on the back of this, it actually tells me on the label that the casks have come from Grant Taylor's Valley's Vineyard, which is Central Otago in New Zealand. It's not the first time that we've seen casks come from New Zealand, Pinot Noir casks for Longrow Red series. So obviously a big hit in the past. They've been good. The port wine cask I think has been good. The Malbec cask has been really, really good as well. So as I said, some absolute crackers in there that you should absolutely chase if you don't own one of them. If you do, crack it open, let me know what you think, because they're very, very good. I do say that I'll try to keep this video short and sharp. We're going to focus on smell, taste, overall experience. Give this one a score. Let's get stuck into that exactly. Bottled at, as he says here, 51.4% ABV. Color is fantastic. The nose, cherries, currants, yes, chocolates, some coffee in there as well. Now, so cherry is one of my favorite fruits. Love when I find that in whiskey. Why do I love cherries? There's sweetness, there's a little bit of bitterness, sometimes sourness. Fantastic, gives you everything that you need in there. If they could only get rid of the pip, it would be easier to eat, but really, really lovely. Now, also some cocoa beans on here as well. I mentioned the coffee, big hit, absolutely fantastic. A tiny bit of ginger spice. In terms of peat, so Longrow, 50 to 55 ppm. So the way that we measure, obviously, peat level, or the amount of smokiness, I guess you could say, in whiskey. So 50 to 55 is considered to be heavily peated. We know that Springbank has a small amount of peat in it, but because this has then spent 15 years in 2 different cask types, it is not heavily peated, or it's not super smoky, I guess you could say, rather, on the nose. See how it goes on the taste. Non-scientific term is winey. The wine influence on it is big. Fantastic. We expect that, right? That's why we're buying or drinking a Longrow Red. Now, we mentioned currants earlier. Yes, absolutely. Cherry, fantastic. Cherry choc vibe. Absolutely. You're getting that. It is a little bit funky, it's a little bit drying. We've got a little bit of spice on the finish. We're going to add a little bit of water to this, right? I do think that the strength works rather well. We're going to add a little bit more. Not too much, right? So we can always add more. Now, yeah, okay. Chocolate coming to the forefront now. really big chocolate vibes coming through. Absolutely love that. We're also getting a little bit of dried apricot that comes through on the nose with this as well, but a lot of chocolate, a lot of cherry, and I love that. That combination for me works absolutely fantastically. I mentioned ginger spice earlier on. That really does completely disappear. It's still drying. So this is the thing, right, with water. It almost becomes a little bit more drying. It gets rid of that spice. The wine influence in this is fantastic. I've spoken to friends of mine and the reviews have been mixed. I quite like this. I think that is a very good whiskey. I'd give this an 8 out of 10, which would put this as, for me, one of the better Longrow Reds, because as I mentioned earlier on, some have been a big hit, some have been a little bit of a miss. I quite like this. I think that this is a very, very good one. So as I mentioned earlier, if you have a bottle of this, do not wait. Crack it open, get stuck in, share it with friends because it's very, very good. And what I will be doing is I'll be sharing more Springbank with you. So please do subscribe, hit the like button. Thank you very much once again for joining me. Cheers to you. Till next time.